Hello, our viewers. Welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. NFL award predictions or picks. Tomorrow's award ceremony, I believe. Yep, tomorrow's the award ceremony. So we're going to see a lot of big-time names get awarded for some of their big-time moments throughout the season. You know, we're going to see the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year of the offensive side and the defensive side, Coach of the Year, and the new awards on slot 2. I don't believe they had this last year. I don't think they had Assistant Coach of the Year last year. I could be mistaken, though, but we're going to see that awarded today. So we're going to start from that spot, actually, Assistant Coach of the Year. And in my opinion, I think it can go to either one of those guys because a lot of those guys did a very good job. But I'm going to say Bobby Slowick, in my opinion, is the Assistant Coach of the Year. You see what he done with the Texans offense. A lot of people came into the season, including me. I thought the Texans were going to be a team that's rebuilding. I thought they'd probably have a little success because D'Amico Ryan's is a good coach, a great defensive mind. I thought they'd have a little success. But I think they'd be a team to go out there and win a division. I think they'd win a division or go out there and win a playoff game as well. And you see just like how C.J. Stroud just kind of shot out of a cannon and how the offense was looking so good. Bobby Slowick did a very good job in getting the offense scoped, getting the offense ready. And then you see how he did with C.J. Stroud. You seen it early on in the season. C.J. struggled at points like early on when the season first started, but then you see him pick up a lot of steam around week 5. And, and also start picking up steam and then start just playing at a high level. At one point in the season, he was an MVP candidate. The only reason he probably didn't finish as one fully was because of the injury that happened. He missed a few games and stuff. But overall, he played amazing games. He played very good. C.J. Stroud was playing tremendous football. You see the offense, the running game was getting going with the additions of Singletary added to the backfield from last year, the former Bills. And then you see all the receivers they had. The Tank Dell, who broke his leg, missed the end of the season, but when he came up there and played, he played good. So Tank Dell was doing some great things. You look at the tight end, Dalton Schultz, who's out there doing some amazing things too. Larry Tunsil was amazing left tackle. Showing you that he's one of the best in the game and how the offensive line got together and just the play calling was just good. It was just a good play calling. Everything started clicking and clicking, and then you see them how they had success and how they was able to win the playoffs. Win the division and win a game in the playoffs as well in a blowout victory. And you just see their team with a bright future. There's a lot of young talent around the team too. They have a lot of picks left still this year draft as well. So we're going to see them go out there and execute and draft most likely they did last year and add more talent to add around the offense, and you're going to see an even better team. But I think Assistant Coach of the Year goes to Bobby Slowick. Coach of the Year. I couldn't pick one candidate, so I'm going to pick I'm going to say Campbell and D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans, like I mentioned before, the Texans, very good job. Texans did a very good job in bringing that team up. Because, a lot of people thought that team was going to be a team rebuilding, which they are still rebuilding, of course, rebuilding the core, a strong core around. People thought the team was going to be just a team that maybe win 6-7 games, maybe like around that range that they play well in certain spurts. But he went out there and showed you they can go out there. They won double-digit games in 10 games this season. Went out there and won a playoff game. They won a division. He played tremendous football on both sides of the ball as well, beating some good teams as well. And you look at Campbell, what he did with the Lions. The Lions won the division. The year before, the last year, I think his first year here they won 3 games. Second year here they went 9-8. They missed the playoffs by 1 game because they had the tiebreaker loss to the Seahawks, so they missed the playoffs. But then you look at them this season right here, go out there, win a division, win 2 playoff games, get to the NFC Championship, and just fall a little short. I believe they'd be back next year. And you see them go out there and see how Coach Campbell preached the same message from the beginning and to now as well. Living with his team, riding with his team, bleeding for his team and going out there and just giving the team everything he has and the coaching ability and just kind of putting them in positions to help them succeed. And you kind of had to root for them a little bit too. You kind of started being miserable because a lot of people thought Coach Campbell was all this silly coach talking about biting kneecaps and all this crazy nonsense they was saying. But then it started resonating more with people and more with players. You see them start lowering more free agency and they say, I like what this guy is doing, what he's doing with his team. And you see how they started building success. And this season right here is probably one of the most successful seasons in almost forever. Because I think the last time he went to the NFC Championship game was 1991 or something. It was this was a while ago. So to see them in the NFC Championship game and just fall a little short, they had a big time lead. They blew the lead, fell a little short in that game. They'll be back next year as well to compete again. But you got to give it to Coach Campbell, D'Amico Ryans. Those are the 2 guys who've been, amazing, turn those franchises around. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, C.J. Stroud. I ain't got to say too much of C.J. Stroud. He's an amazing player. Like I mentioned before, my draft analysis video before the season started about C.J. Stroud and about some of the quarterbacks in the draft. You can go back and watch that video. I said that C.J. Stroud reminds me of Aaron Rodgers like type style because he's very accurate, you know, quick release. I think he's the best thrower of football out of that draft class. He has that same kind of Aaron Rodgers-esque play style. I didn't say he was Aaron Rodgers, but I said that same like play style and same tendencies of Aaron Rodgers. And you see him kind of like play a little similar this season. You know, you see the motions and the throws and stuff. He also have an ability to run and make plays happen. The touchdown interception ratio is very low as well. I think it was 22-5, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comment section down below. But C.J. Stroud played amazing football this season. Was an MVP candidate for quite some time. The only reason he didn't get named as a finalist because he missed some games too here and there. But man played amazing football, and next season he's gonna jump up even higher. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna go with Kobe Turner. As you guys know, I'm a Steelers fan, so JPJ played amazing. He's one of the finalists for Defensive Rookie of the Year as well. But Kobe Turner, you play interior D line, and I think he had 9 sacks. He had 9 sacks. When you play interior defensive lineman and you can get 9 sacks as like that, especially as a rookie, you got to give it to him. And you know, he was playing some amazing football like that. And you watch some of his games, and I mean, early on, like entering the season, I think he was like the fourth round pick. I think the third or fourth round pick. But entering the season, I didn't really focus too much on him or talk about him too much. And then when you kind of like see him play a little bit, start seeing a little more traction, like, who's this guy right here? And you start seeing Kobe Turner just make play after play after play. And he's like, damn, man, look like a mini Aaron Donald right here. And you just seeing him just go out there and keep balling and balling. You're like, man, the Rams have found them a guy right there too as well. So they did a good job in drafting some guys. Usually Puka Nacua, who's the guy's a finalist for Offensive Rookie of the Year as well. He got drafted later rounds. Kobe Turner as well. So they're doing a great job in finding these guys. Kobe Turner looked absolutely amazing. I think he's Defensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, we know Will Anderson did a good job, and we know Carter as well. JPJ and many other people too as well did a good job and a great job. Devin Witherspoon too. But Kobe Turner, you know, interior D lineman, getting that many sacks and making that much of an impact on that team and helping lead the defensive core, lead that team to the playoffs as well, was amazing. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey. At the beginning of the season, I know I picked Tyreek Hill to be a candidate for MVP and for Offensive Rookie of the Year as well. But he kind of got banged up at one point in the season. So he still has 1,700 receiving yards. I think he's still he's on a list for Offensive Rookie of the Year as a finalist, but he kind of like mess up his momentum a little bit, missing those games. Christian McCaffrey has been the most valuable player on the 49ers team, going out there and doing everything in the rushing attack, in the passing game as well, blocking, just going out there being an absolute leader, absolute dog, the best running back in the game today, just playing amazing football out there for the 49ers to help them lead them to the Super Bowl as well. You see what he did in the NFC Championship game, making those big-time plays. So he got to be Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now we get to the top 2 awards. Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with TJWatt. I know a lot of people had, like, of course, you got TJWatt, you know, Max Crosby. I think TJWatt and Max Crosby are the top 2. And then you put Garrett, and then you put Parsons, and then Danielle Hunter be up there too as well. But TJWatt was playing amazing this season. 19 sacks this season. I know a lot of people like to bring into the win rate and the pressures and stuff. Just try to use that argument. I know a lot of the fans use the argument of the Myles Garrett on the win rate pressures and stuff. I think Myles Garrett had 14 sacks, which is still a lot of sacks. It's good too as well. TJ had 19 sacks, and plus the win rate stuff and the pressure stuff is cool and all, but is it actually a win if you win the battle to get the pressure to the quarterback, but he step up and throw a touchdown, or he step up and get a first down? Is that actually winning? You know, you win individually, but that actually winning the play. But if you actually go out back there and get a sack and you stop all that from happening, then that's like, you know, I feel like that's more of a winning feeling than the other thing as well. So again, you know, sacks are guaranteed. You know, guaranteed to end the play. If you sack somebody, you guarantee to end the play. So TJ Watt got 19 of those. Play tremendous football. You know, the pass deflections are always high for him too. At the line of scrimmage, he'll jump up. Sometimes he might drop back in coverage in zone. See him get an interception in zone coverage as well. Some strip sacks this season as well. Also had a fumble recovery for a touchdown as well. So TJ Watt just made a lot of big time plays all around the field. And he had multiple. I think he had 5. If I'm not mistaken. I think 5 or 6 games we at least had 2+ sacks. So he was playing amazing football. Around, and then, you know, and people always had this notion that TJ Watt don't play the run game, but you look at his tape. He be back there in the run game as well, getting back in the backfield, the run game, the rushing attack, tackle for losses in the backfield too. So in my opinion, TJ Watt and Max Crosby are probably the top 2 guys, top 2 finalist candidates who are going to battle out for the Defensive Player of the Year. But I think TJ Watt got the edge slightly over Max Crosby as well, and it should be a second DPOY for him to keep his legacy going for the Hall of Fame one day in the future. And MVP, I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, you look at his numbers, amazing numbers from Lamar Jackson. I know a lot of people had, Dak Prescott's in that threshold as well, has some amazing numbers too. Brock Purdy as well. But you look at Lamar Jackson, his team had a tougher schedule. I know you play who's in front of you, of course, but his team had a tougher schedule. And in those games he played against those top teams, he went out there and he performed at the highest levels. He beat Brock Purdy. I think, and people said weeks ago, they said, well, quarterback won that game, and the Ravens and 49ers were going to be the MVP. And we've seen Brock Purdy throw 4 picks in that game, and Lamar Jackson just walked them down like a dog in that game over and over and just made some big time plays in that game. But I don't think Brock Purdy cared about the MVP. He cared about that Super Bowl that he's going to probably try to win this Sunday as well. So I don't think he really cared about the MVP. But Lamar Jackson should be MVP. Dak Prescott numbers are amazing. Of course, he got more touchdown passes than Lamar, more passing yards and stuff than Lamar. But in those big-time games against those top dog teams when the lights are on, Lamar Jackson showed up. Dak Prescott did not show up in those games. So I think you look at, quarterbacks are determined by the record, of course, the touchdown interception ratio, their yards as well, and also the strength of wins. They usually use that into the debate as well to determine, like, okay, against this top tier defense, did you go out there and perform at that level, or did you go out there and do this, like that? We see Lamar Jackson perform against the 49ers, beat them down. Against the Dolphins, beat them down. We see him go out there and just perform against those top teams. I think he had a record of 8-3 against teams with winning records, something like that. So he had a lot of big-time games to play against some teams. And plus his division, to go out there and win your division when the Steelers was 10-7, the Browns was 11-6, the Bengals was 9-8. That was I think this is the first division to have every team with a winning record in a game above 500 since 1930 something. So to go out there and win the toughest division as well, they also put kind of like a thing on you too as well to boost you up and bolster you up in the race for MVP. So I think Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, who the MVP is, who the DPOY is, who the Offensive Player of the Year is, who the Offensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Rookie of the Year, Assistant Coach, Head Coach, all that stuff. Put all the awards in there. Comeback Player, I forgot to do that one. I think that one, if you're going by just a guy who had like a tragedy and came back to play, it's going to be DeMar Hamlin probably. But if you're going by a guy who wasn't that good last year or had some injury last year, something banged up and kind of came out of nowhere, it probably Baker Mayfield. You see the season he had, he had some career highs in every category. Baker was bounced around from team to team, and then now he got to this team, and you see him go out there and absolutely ball and get them to the playoffs and win a playoff game and kind of fall a little short in that Lions game, playoff game as well. So go out there and just play amazing football. So if you're going by that standard, then Baker should win. But if you're going by somebody who had a tragedy, like they got shot or something, or hit with a guitar in the head or something and they came back to play, then you're going by something that happened like was tragic. Like DeMar Hamlin had the heart attack on the field and he came back to play. So that's some type of big story, of course. So you're going by that type of standing, just to step on the field and just run a few snaps. Then you'd be like, okay, DeMar Hamlin. But if you're going by like someone who had a bad season before, who played bad but came back and balled out and played like real good, like Pro Bowl level, then you give it to Baker Mayfield. So we'll see what they determine it by. But that's all I got for the video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.